And if the United States decides that tomorrow that THABO MBEKI must die in the national interest, they will act on it. They may decide tomorrow that Power FM is owned by the United States and it's in the national interest of the US. They'll take that decision and then act to make sure that that happens. And that's what's happening. What is in the interest of the United States? That is the only principle that guides us in our foreign international relations. Nothing to do with multilateral or nothing like that. What is in the interest of the United States? Which will be decided exclusively by the United States.
In this video, I want us to focus about this powerful interview of the former President Thabo Mbeki, who had given the interview to Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi in behalf of the Power FM. Well, this powerful interview, they discuss about a lot of things, but I want us to focus especially on this part of the questions which was being put to him concerning the visit of President Ramaphosa in the US and the kind of treatment which the President Ramaphosa had received from President Donald Trump. Well, I don't want to waste much of your time, but I want us first to have a listen to what was the response of the President Thabo Mbeki. Then I'll be back with more analysis as we get to listen to what he have to say.
I want to go back, President, to this dependency politically now, because the retreat, as it were, and maybe go to this White House drama over the weekend with the South African president and the president of the United States. Many of us watching that, certainly I think my assessment in the country, it looked like the United States has assumed this position of total disrespect, as it were, to the leadership of our country, characterized by the presumption to think the United States head of state can educate the South African head of state about South Africa and South African problems. It was shocking for us to see the drama even in prepared videos and pictures and all of that. Obviously, we all know it's lies and so on and so forth. The Trump administration has crossed the 100 days. President Ramaphosa has been there with that delegation. What is wrong with that relationship between South Africa and the United States?
It's not, I don't think it's only between South Africa and the United States. You know, the Secretary of State, the current one, Marco Rubio, he did an interview, I think, beginning of February, thereabouts. And he made what I thought was a remarkable statement. He says, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, we ended up with a unipolar world where the United States was the boss of everybody. And he says that was irregular, that was not normal. What is more normal is a multipolar world. And he says, you know, in terms of that, and therefore, today, now, we are in a multipolar world. We've moved away from that unipolar, a rare unipolar situation which was unnatural. We're back in a multipolar world. So when I read that, I was saying this is very interesting, coming from Donald Trump's Secretary of State. Then he goes on to say, and in that multipolar world, countries have got their own country interests, and they pursue country interests. And he says, for instance, Chile has got its own interest and it pursues its interest. China has got its interest, Russia has got interest, and blah, blah, blah. Then, of course, it talks about rogue states like Iraq, Iran, and so on. And therefore, the United States also, in this multipolar world, will pursue its own interest. So I said to myself, now I understand what he means. You see, when President Trump spoke America first during the first term, And there was some accusation that from among the Americans that this isolationist is taking America out of the world. It was not true, or not in the least isolationist. He was saying we must be the dominant force in the world. Now, when Marco Rubio says we will pursue our own national interests as every other country does in a multipolar situation, that's what he means. We will define what is in the interest of the United States. They may decide tomorrow that Power FM is owned by the United States and it's in the national interest of the US. They'll take that decision and then act to make sure that that happens. And that's what's happening with regard to the rest of the world. They take a particular position. What is in the interest of the United States? That is the only principle that guides us in our foreign international relations. Nothing to do with multilateral or nothing like that. What is in the interest of the United States? Which will be decided exclusively by the United States. And if the United States decides that tomorrow that THABO MBEKI must die in the national interest, they will act on it. So now, then they will take a position. Here is a South Africa. It's in the national interest of the United States, their view. The defense of Israel must happen. And the disempowerment of the Palestinians, even to the point of their eviction from Gaza and the West Bank and so on, in the national interest of the United States. Now, if you then pop up from somewhere and try and oppose Israel, you are acting against the national interest of the United States. They take a particular posture, as you know, towards Iran. Iran shall never have nuclear weapons, and therefore we are going to tie them to a particular arrangement. And we have seen that as an accusation that South Africa has been bribed by Iran. So personally, I was puzzled by that. What does it mean? Until I came to understand that what they are arguing is when South Africa says we support the Palestinian people, that's what they say. We actually mean we're supporting Hamas, not the Palestinian people, Hamas. And because we're supporting Hamas, given the relationship between Hamas and Iran, therefore we're on the side of Iran. And the reason we've taken up the Israeli issue in the way that we've done in the International Court of Justice is because we're bribed by Iran in support of Hamas. So that's where the argument comes from, of bribery. South Africa was bribed by Iran. But we're saying the posture explained by Marco Rubio. In the context of a multipolar world, the United States will pursue its own national interest as defined by the United States. So they decide it's the national interest of the United States to have Canada as one of their states.
Yes.
The Panama Canal must be re-owned by the Americans, or Greenland. It's in the national interest of the United States as defined by the United States. I'm saying that impacts on everybody. That was impact on South Africa. I think if we don't understand that, the posture of the United States, and then to be able to respond to it, whatever posture they assume towards South Africa in their national interest, we must be able to stand up to say our own interest is the following. And defend whatever is in our interest, and to debate with them, and perhaps you can persuade them to change what their view is about South Africa. But that's what informs the behavior, not towards only South Africa, but globally, is the pursuit of the national interest, exclusively the pursuit of the interest of the United States, not guided by anything else. If you say to them, no, but you should incorporate in your policy posture the concept and the practice of multilateralism. No. What is that? Only if multilateralism is in the interest of the United States. If not, no. That's how Marco Rubio had. When I read that interview, I understood what Make America Great means. We will pursue American interest and use whatever power we have, whether it's financial or military or whatever, to ensure that the American interest is served.
Whether we like it or not, the truth is that the former President Thabo Mbeki is one of the Pan-Africans right now in Africa continent who are building the brain of Africa's future, especially in the terms of educating young ones in order for them to understand of what had happened and what needs to be done in order for us to come up together as one Africa and grow up our economy. And one thing I like about President Thabo Mbeki is for the fact that he's a man who leads the country and he lead Africans affairs. He contain a lot of secrets which politicians won't be able to reveal for us, but through his speech, if you listen to President Thabo Mbeki, you'll definitely agree with me that this man, he knew a lot of things that he can discuss with us and we can get to discover with it. This interview, it's an interview of almost like 2 hours, which I'm inviting you guys to watch it if you want to watch everything in details. But us in this video, we just wanted to focus on this particular point concerning the kind of treatment which Donald Trump had manifested over there in the United States of America, and on how he get to ambush the president of South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa. Guys, as you all know that last week, everyone, they were talking about it, news, TVs, news channels, everyone, they were talking about it because this is actually an actualities that everyone, they've been waiting to see since Donald Trump he decided to open the borders for the Afrikaners to go over there, because according to him, he's kind of like accusing South Africa of being involved in the white genocide. But regardless of all this, all the ONG, all the different organizations, even the head of the state all over around the world, they're not backing up Donald Trump on this one, because they know very well that this man is lying and they know very well that this man is not telling the truth. So, therefore, everyone knows very well that no, this is a very big lie that Donald Trump have made. But the only one question remains in the mind of many people out there is for the people to know what are the motivations behind all these kind of allegations that Donald Trump is putting towards South Africa. What is Donald Trump going to benefit from all this? And I think out of all the different opinions we get from different leaders or journalists, analysts all over around the world, I think what President Thabo Mbeki have just expressed or explained in his response is something very capital, because we usually talk about it here and maybe some people, they never pay more attention to it. But now that it's coming from a leader such as President Thabo Mbeki, I believe now that it will make even more sense to many people out there who are watching us. Why am I saying this? Because if you listen very well to President Thabo Mbeki, you tell that it's kind of like exposing the strategy which the USA, they've been implementing for all these years, the strategy which the USA, they've put on place in order for them to keep dominating other nations. And President Thabo Mbeki, he had to express himself by even giving a short example of the Mike Rubio on how he spoke recently through an interview where he gets to expose the plans which the USA does. And here we're talking about the USA trying to maintain their sovereignty, trying to make sure that there is no other nations out there who can be above them. And here we are talking about the strategy which the USA they've been using all these years in order for them to remain in that position, in order for them to keep influencing other countries' politics, in order for them to, should I say, to do anything possible so that they'll always have a last word to say in everything that they need to say. And the President Thabo Mbeki, in his response, he said very well that the USA, for their own interest, they are willing to do anything. I mean anything, in order for them to protect their interest. The US, they are willing even to turn your own mother against you, as long as she knows that no, I'm an American, I'm working for the US. She's willing to do anything to sacrifice a love for you so that she will protect the interests of the US. That is what President Thabo Mbeki means to say by that. If I have to give you in a very easy and simple examples, well, we will have just to look on what they have done so far around the world. We're talking about people who don't consider other countries' sovereignty. We're talking about people who don't respect other nations. They impose their opinions. It is them or nothing. Look, every country that they have invade, every country that they have bring instability in, you will see that these countries, they were doing much better before the US get in. Once they get in, they'll use anything possible in order for them to make you look like you're a bad person, so that they'll look like a good people. They'll make you look like you're a dictator, so that they'll look like they're the right people who respect human right. They'll make you look this and that, and at the end of the day, they'll be the one who will have something now to come and say to people, so that people will believe in whatever they're saying. They have done that with Saddam Hussein. They said that Saddam Hussein was working to kill his own population, to destroy his own people. But what happened next? We have not seen that. They were there telling us a story that no, Saddam Hussein did this and that. But until they killed him, is there any proof that shows that Saddam Hussein was actually a man who was planning to do all these things that they were accusing him of? No. Why? Because that is how they do their things around. That is how they do paint a person with the color of their choice, so that the person will look like a bad person. Al-Assad in Syria, where is he today? And today, for your own information, they went on and replaced him with the man who was being considered as a terrorist, a man whom they had put 10 million US dollar in order for them to arrest this man. Today, just because this man came in, they are now supporting him. Recently, you saw Donald Trump when he visited the Arabic region. He was busy shaking hands with this leader of Syria, right? The kind of hypocrisy that these people they have. They came in Libya. They did everything they could have done. We saw Obama coming, regardless of his skin color, forgetting that no, I'm kind of like fighting my own brother from Africa continent. He came and imposed his leadership there. He said whatever he's supposed to say there. He make Gaddafi look like a bad person, so that at the end of the day, him will look like he's a good person, and Gaddafi was killed. That is how far these people they can go. And it is the same strategy that they are trying to do right now in South Africa. They want to destroy the economy of South Africa. They want to to negotiate with South Africa with a gun pointed on their heads. They have a serious deal which are being prepared so far, which they want to do to South Africa. But in order for South Africa to accept, to give them the right or to enter them into their sovereignty, they need to come and put some pressure on South Africa so that when South Africa will feel under pressure, they'll let in, they'll give in. Now, what do you have to understand from all this? First of all, this is a way of the United States of America disrespecting South Africa's sovereignty. They don't care at all. They want to do things, they are up to something which they want to have a easy access to South Africa's sovereignty. From there, they'll be able now to control South Africa even from far. And in order for them to do that, they need to come up with these excuses of saying that the white minority in South Africa are being killed, blah, 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 blah. They are doing all that because they know very well that it will put South Africa under pressure. Are you aware that Elon Musk, with his satellite, they are now already in South Africa and they are about to sign a very big tender which cost a lot of billions of money. And when you are talking about satellite, we are talking about communication. And Elon Musk, he should not come and tell South Africans that he is a South African, because he will come and give you that impression, but we all know whom he works for. And if Elon Musk have to come and put his hand on the South Africa communication, which means we are doomed, because now America will be able to control even our communications, to know what is happening in the country, who did what. All our secret service, they will be exposed out there. That it is the strategy which the USA, they try to put on the place so that it will pressure South Africa in order for South Africa to accept to negotiate with them. Forget about all these things of Donald Trump showing some newspapers in the White House saying that no, all this is the killing, is the killing, is the killing. No, that's just a strategy of bringing South Africa to the table. And the former President Thabo Mbeki had just exposed them for that. So guys, this is America trying to put themselves first, as Donald Trump once said that America first. And this is their policy. So if you see American politics, no matter how much leaders they don't get along, or whether it is the Republicans or the Democrats, they don't get along. But one thing for sure, all of them, at the end of the day, they have to save America. Because if you fail to save America first, you'll be considered as someone who have betrayed the nation. So such kind of a treason in America is something which is very punishable. And that's something each and every leader, from Bill Clinton to Bush, Obama, all of them, they have one thing in common, which is to put America first. And Trump is doing that exactly because they want to make sure that their leadership as Americans should be above the one of South Africa. And seeing now South Africa resisting against all these things. For an example, South Africa standing forward, going to the ICJ and bringing this genocide which is taking place in in Palestine. That was a very something. It was a big punch which South Africa not only punched Israel, but you also punched the United States of America, because we all know that it is the USA which is behind all this. If you are looking for a true mastermind behind this massacre that is taking place in Palestine, that will be the USA. And exposing someone such as the Israelite Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, it's like exposing the US, because if Benjamin gets to be arrested today and he need to confess the truth, trust me, it will involve the USA in one way or other way. And just because of that, the USA don't feel comfortable to let him be free like that, or to be arrested like that, because if get to be arrested, they'll be also exposed. And these are the people who like to preach the human right, the respect of democracy, and also on and so on, all those kind of things. So they don't want to be accused or to be found in anything which has to do with something illegal. So that's the reason why they also want to punish South Africa for that. Like, no, you are talking about genocide taking place in Gaza. Okay, what about there by your place? And they make up all these stories. Because at the end of the day, there is no genocide in South Africa, and we all know that. So I really like the response which the former President Thabo Mbeki had given concerning these matters. And I felt like it was very important we come here and try to debate or discuss a little bit more about it. Guys, thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. We really do appreciate your presence. Before you leave, make sure that you hit that thumb up, like this video in your numbers. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more video like this to come. And drop us your comment in the comment section. Tell us also your thoughts. Tell us what you think about the opinion which the former President Thabo Mbeki had given about these matters. But I believe, above all, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone. In order for you to be respected, may God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.